What's going on, y'all? On Warren Cars back again with another car buyer's guide. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Today we're going to be going over the Infiniti Q50 and Q60. They're kind of the same. Obviously, one's a coupe, one's a sedan, and the model years don't exactly line up, but we're going to kind of go over mostly the Q50, a little bit of the Q60, and you'll see why in a second, simply because the model years are very varied. I guess there's a big range of model years for the Q50, and in terms of body styles, in terms of Infiniti in general, their body styles, their naming convention, everything is all messed up with their model lineup. And so that's why I had to split it like this. So what we're going to do today is doing the Q50 and Q60 from 2014 to 2017. So that's going to be those 4 model years before the facelift. There was a facelift for the 2018 model. But for the coupe, it was the old body style, like the G style body style, until 2016 or 17, I believe. I believe it's actually 17. So we're going to look at 1 year of the coupe. But yeah, the coupe is obviously, in my opinion, a better car simply because it looks a lot cooler. And those are also going to command higher prices as well. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, Infiniti. Let's see. Infiniti is Nissan's luxury division, their luxury brand, similar to Lexus, similar to Acura, except I'd have to say that Infiniti probably falls in last place. Not only is their naming convention and their model lineup very confusing, but they're not the most reliable brand either. And they really haven't done much in terms of performance and innovation in the last decade, at least. The only thing Nissan has done in terms of performance is make the GTR, and that came out in 2008? It's almost 20 years old, and that's all they have. It's interesting though, because they finally put like a Nissan GTR type engine. Obviously, it's not the same. It's not a 3.5 liter. I don't know what size engine, 3.5, 3.6, or 3.8. I don't know, 3.7. Sorry, I don't know what size the GTR engine is off the top of my head. But they finally decided to put that style of engine, a twin turbo V6, into a regular production car, and that is in the Q50. Obviously, not all trims have that engine. There are several different engine options that come with the Q50. Actually, there are a ton, but for the 2014 and 2017 model years, we're going to be looking at the 3.7 VQ, the naturally aspirated engine. We're going to be looking at the hybrid system. We're going to be looking at the 2-liter turbo engine, which is actually a Mercedes engine. And then we're going to be looking at the 3-liter twin turbo VR engine that's in the Q50 3.0T, as well as the Red Sport. And then as you can see here, this is the Red Sport. We'll go over all the trims in a second. I just want to make sure you guys know that what we're doing today is going over the pre-facelift cars, 14 through 17. We're not going through 18 through present because you really can't. This is more about the used car market, and we can do new cars, but just not today. So before I get into that, quick announcements. If you haven't joined my Discord already, join the On Warren Cars Discord, the community where we talk about cars. Obviously, we're still getting it going. We got 9 members so far. Shout out to the 9 members in the Discord. Again, if you didn't know or haven't heard, I'm doing a giveaway for $50. All you got to do is join the Discord, like, comment, and subscribe on any video, and subscribe to the channel, and then share a video or a reel with somebody. It really doesn't matter how you share it or who you share it to. Just share it with somebody. And then, yeah, I'm going to be picking the winner, the winner, not next Monday, but the Monday after that. Yeah, $50. Shout out to Claro. He actually won it last time. This is going to be my second time doing this giveaway. So if you want to win $50, it's pretty easy. All you got to do really is join this, and this is where I pick from for the winner. Cool. Yeah, I think we can move. Oh, actually, one more thing. Fragrance of the day. We got Mont Blanc Legend. Way too many notes to remember. Just know that it smells like the inside of Abercrombie and Fitch, the store. So take that as you want. Classic smell. A lot of people think it's overplayed. This smells pretty nice to me. Obviously, it's not the same as the Abercrombie smell because this is Mont Blanc. Abercrombie has their own version called Abercrombie Fierce, I think. Same thing, same basic scent profile, but this one is the more higher up, the more high quality version, I guess you could say. Just based on price. Yeah, it's about twice the price of the Abercrombie one. Anyway, let's get back to cars. So moving on to the features, options, and problems of the Q50. As I mentioned before, we're doing the pre-facelift cars. So I'm just going to run down the model years as well as the engines and configurations that they come in. So the Q50, the Infiniti Q50 is made from 2014. So I'm talking about this body style is made from 2014 to the present. And the coupe was made from 2016 to 2017 to 2022. So the coupe is actually out of production already. The coupe was made from 2016, but really only model years 2017 really show up, and then to 2022. So the 3 engines, well, I didn't even include the, well, I did actually. The hybrid one is right here. Anyway, the engines we're going to be looking at today. First, the 3.7 liter. This is going to be the VQ37 VHR. It makes 328 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. This is going to be the oldest engine in terms of technology, but also probably the most reliable, the most proven drivetrain of the bunch. Then you have the 3.5 liter. This is going to be the VQ35 HR. This is the hybrid system with a combined output, including the electric motor, of 364 horsepower and 403 pound-feet of torque, which is very impressive. I'm actually surprised more people don't get this car, because this car puts up more numbers than, or more torque than every other model, including the Red Sport, which is pretty cool. And then we have the 2-liter turbo. This is an MB, a Mercedes-Benz M274 engine. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, commonly found in the 2012 to 2018 A-Class, B-Class, GLA, and CLA class. So it's going to be that entry-level engine, that 2-liter turbo. And then we have the 3-liter turbo, which is in the 2016 to present cars. There is going to be the VR30 DDTT. It's going to be a twin turbo 3-liter V6. Let's see. Oh, well, this was supposed to be in this line up here. It makes 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And then you have the 3.0T Red Sport 400, which makes 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. The Red Sport 400 got so much press when it first came out, because it was like, finally, Infiniti is doing something performance-oriented with their cars. They're making something, you know, actually fast. However, unfortunately, it didn't really sell as well as they thought. It did sell okay. I'd say Q50 is one of the more popular Infiniti models. However, it just didn't stick like they thought it was. I think simply didn't have as much power and didn't compete like as well as they thought it would. I'm sure that it took them a long time, as it always does, to develop cars, right? So they developed this 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque engine. They put it in the car as soon as it comes out, 2016, you know, new M3 comes out and just, I mean, the M3 was obviously out 2015, I believe. Yeah, but it's just, it can't compete. It's an Infiniti. It's like if this had 450 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, then we'd be talking. It's like literally something as simple as that, but just off the bat, you can't bring people into the showrooms with these type of numbers. No one's going to come and buy the cars. No one's even going to come and look at it. You know, for example, Dodge, you know, they have an 800 horsepower car. Obviously, 99% of people aren't going to buy that car, but they come into the showroom and they buy the V6 version. They buy the cheap version. Hey, shout out to you, Clean Whips. Shout out to Clean Whips in the chat. Shout out to the 2 people in the chat, by the way. Clean Whips and the Ninja Watcher. Shout out to both of y'all. Happy to see y'all here in the chat. But yeah, as I mentioned, the Red Sport, very, very potent engine for what Infiniti is used to. However, it really couldn't compete unless you got it tuned. And obviously, you know, a lot of people do have these tuned, and a lot of people do have really fast Q50 Red Sports. However, it's just not that many of them when compared to just, you know, the German car rivals. They both use 7-speed transmissions. However, the 2-liter uses the Mercedes 7G Tronic transmission, while the 3.7 3.0T and the hybrid obviously uses 7-speed 7R01 auto transmission made by Nissan. And then finally, we're going to group the cars into 2 groups. They're all pre-facelift. However, I'm going to group the 2014 and 2015 into one group, and the 2016 and 2017 into one group, simply because the 2014 to 2015 had a certain line of engines and trims, and the 2016 and 2017 had a different line of engines and trims. So the 2014 and 15, it primarily used the 3.7 liter and the hybrid engine, so the 3.7 liter and 3.5 liter hybrid system. And then in 2016, they switched to the 3.0 liter, no, the 3 liter twin turbo V6, as well as the 2 liter turbo 4. Yeah, see, a lot of people, you know, they make the good power on these things. It's just the brand recognition isn't there. And yeah, people can make good power on them. It's twin turbo V6, very capable powertrain, but it's I don't know. You tell me, why don't people buy Infinitis, or why do people buy German cars over an Infiniti? You tell me, Clean Whips. Okay, so let's get on to the options, which there are a ton of because, as I mentioned, they did a big switch in between the 15 and 16 model years. So let me get that pulled up right here. And then I will just bold some stuff real quick. Just make it easier to read because, of course, it always copies over without any formatting, which is super annoying. I'm sure there's a way to fix that too. I just haven't figured that out. Cool. All right. Whoa, hold up. Okay, as I mentioned before, 2014 and 2015 are going to be, yeah, people are name whores, exactly. I mean, me included. I would never buy a Q50 given the fact that you could buy other cars. But, you know, I'm not going to knock it. My friend actually had a Q50 and he had it slammed and everything, and it was super dope. That was a super nice, clean build, and he made it look really nice. It had like a really nice, ground effects kit. Yeah, and it was slammed. It was on air. It was really cool. I actually really liked it, but not for me. Anyway, well, I mean, depends on the price, you know. Anything could be had for the right price. So for the trim levels for the 2014 and 2015, we have the Q50, which is the base. You have the Q50 Premium, the Q50S, which can be the sporty version, the Q50 Hybrid Premium, and then the Q50 Hybrid. For the 2016 and 2017, you have the Q50 2.0T, the Q50 2.0T Premium, the Q50 2.0T Sport, which came out in 2017, so they didn't have the 2016. There was not a 2016 Q50 2.0 Sport. That trim level came out in 2017. For 2016 and 2017, they also had the Q50 3.0T Premium, the Q50 3.0T Sport, the Q50 Red Sport 400, and the Q50 Hybrid Premium. So a ton of different trim packages. They literally have a bunch of like small nuanced differences in between, and we'll go through the actual differences in a second. Just want to make sure you guys understand that this is pretty complicated, but really when you're looking at these cars, I'm really only going to focus on a couple trim levels. It really isn't as complicated as it looks. Anyway, here are the packages that they offered. So all the ones that don't have dates next to them are offered throughout the entire 2014 to 2017, but obviously the ones with dates are offered from the date. Actually, if it doesn't say plus, that means it's only offered that year. If it says plus, it's offered from that date and later. So all these are going to be, you know, I'm kind of confusing myself because I'm pretty sure that some of these are plus, like these 2016s are plus and they carried over to 2017, but we're going to actually take a look in a second. But yeah, we'll just read off the packages: moonroof package, spare tire package, leather appointed seating package, the navigation package, deluxe touring package, technology package, deluxe technology package, 19-inch sport tire and wheel package, performance wheel package 2015 and up, or 2015, 60/40 split package 2015, premium plus package for the 2.0 and the 3.0. Those are going to be in 2016, direct adaptive steering 2016, driver assistance package 2016, maple wood accent package 2016, 19-inch accessory entire or wheel entire package 2016, and then individual options. You have 19 or 17-inch 5-spoke bright alloy wheels, a rear deck lid spoiler / midnight black grille, all-season floor mat / trunk protector carpeted floor mat, Infiniti welcome lighting, Infiniti ambient lighting, stainless steel illuminated kick plates, and splash guards. So we're going to look at the actual brochures and we're going to see the differences between the model years and get a good understanding of what we're going to be looking at with the ads. Yeah, we're here. What is this? 2015. Yeah. So this is the 2014 one. We can see these are going to be the trim levels. Let me see. Can you see that? Yeah. No, not only to you, bro, to everybody. Like Lexus and Acura they're like Infinity's down here, and then Lexus and Acura are like up here. It's like such a big difference between, I'd say Lexus, then Acura, then Infiniti. But the distance in between Infiniti and Acura is so big compared to Acura to Lexus. It's like Infiniti is just such a big drop. But yeah, the RL is definitely a top tier car, and same with the ES300. A lot of people, you know, me included, I used to sleep on the ES300, but it is a really good car. It just runs forever. It's comfortable. It's cheap to maintain. I'm starting to appreciate cars like that more and more as I get older. Anyway, let's go through these trims. You can see we have the 3.7 liter. This is going to be the base one, as I mentioned, 3.7 premium, 3.7S is the sport one, hybrid premium, and hybrid. So we can see the differences. As you can see up here, just going to show the valve train and the engine. Obviously, the hybrid ones have the hybrid system. And then they all have options for all-wheel drive. You can get them in either all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, no matter what example you get. As you can see, for the Q50 and Q50 Premium, they come with the standard suspension. If you get the S Hybrid or Hybrid Premium, you get the Sport Tune suspension. So, you know, in my opinion, stay away from the Premium, stay away from the base. Try to get an S or above. Can also see, yeah, not too many options in terms of differences. It's just some stuff is just not included at all, such as auto dimming outside mirrors with reverse tilt down is not included at all. You can't even get that for the base. Rain sensing front windshield wipers, can't get that with the base. Can't get the high beam assist with the base. You can't get the advanced climate control system. What else can't you get? You can't get the 8-way power heated sport type leather appointed front seats. Yeah, it's just a bunch of different. You don't want to get the base. Again, I apologize for the way I'm reading this because it's actually kind of hard to read the way they put it. They didn't really put like what each package contains. They just did a comparative side by side between each packages. So in order to see what each package contains, you have to kind of read through them down like that. But as you can see, just stay away from the base model. That's what I have to say about this. The rest of them pretty much have the same options. As you can see, like looking at this, all these black dots are filled. The only ones that are open are going to be for the base. Yeah, I agree. I agree with the no rear-wheel drive in Acura world. That's literally the reason why I don't like Hondas. It's funny. The only reason I don't like Hondas is because they're mostly front-wheel drive. The only Hondas I like are rear-wheel drive Hondas. So the S2000, the NSX, maybe the S600, the little key car, because it's rear-wheel drive. But yeah, Acura, I mean, like, you know, I like the Civic Type R. You know, it's a cool car. Also the what's it called? The new one, Type S, the Acura, I'm having a brain fart right now. The Acura Integra Type S. That is a nice car. I'd actually daily that car. That is a nice car. It's like the CTR except nice. Anyway, yeah, going through this, we can see that obviously the base doesn't have regular stuff like power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It doesn't have the paddle shifters. Only the Sport and the Hybrid have the paddle shifters. But yeah, the main takeaway from here is we're going to look at the packages and see what they include. So we have the moonroof package, which includes obviously the moonroof, power sliding, tilted moonroof, spare tire package, which is weird that they make that a package and it's only available for the Premium and the Sport. I don't get it. I don't know if it's like, I don't even want to speculate on that. I don't know why spare tires are only options for some models. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe because of packaging, there's no space. No idea. You have the leather appointed seating package, so you can't even get leather seats for the base. Just stay away from the base. Navigation package, deluxe touring package. So this comes with the power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, direct adaptive steering, auto dimming, outside mirrors with reverse tilt down feature, dual occupant memory system for driver's seat, so two-way memory, mirrors and wheel settings, linked to individual intelligent keys, Maplewood trim, 60/40 folding rear seat split with center armrest gosh, I cannot talk today. What is wrong with me? A round view monitor with moving object detection and front and rear sonar system, rain sensing, front windshield wipers. So this deluxe touring package includes a lot of the options, and unfortunately it's only available for the Premium and the Sport. So you want to make sure that if you're getting a Premium or a Sport, you have the deluxe touring package. I'd also recommend getting the navigation package as well, because it would just add a lot more value to the car. Technology package requires deluxe touring. Okay, so if you're getting the deluxe touring, I highly suggest getting the technology as well, because you're just going to get a whole bunch of extra. Right, exactly. It's a 3 p.m. brain. It's not the same as my noon brain. Oh, pause. Hold up. Anyway, yeah, deluxe technology package. We'll just read through this. Actually, hold up. There are so many things. So requires nav. You get the deluxe technology. Technology requires deluxe touring. Okay. So you see some overlap with the deluxe technology and the deluxe touring, which is interesting. It looks like the deluxe technology is the deluxe touring plus more. Actually, no, I'm lying. It doesn't have this. Wow, these are weird packages. So the deluxe technology package doesn't have the 60/40 split. Is that the only difference? the only difference. The technology package does not have the 60/40 split, but it has a whole bunch of other stuff when compared to the deluxe touring package, but you have to get the nav package. We're really going to be only looking at cars. As you can, oh, that's the difference. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't even read. So on the right, you can see the deluxe technology package is only available for the hybrid cars and it requires a nav package, which is available for all cars. But if you don't get the deluxe technology package, you can get the technology package, which is available for the premium and the S. Yeah, so one or the other, they kind of are the same. The deluxe technology package is like the technology package, but with extra optional extras, I guess, for lack of better terms. But yeah, you just want to make sure that if you're getting a hybrid, make sure it has deluxe technology. Everything else, make sure it has the technology package. Same thing if it was the premium or sport, make sure it has the deluxe touring. And then if it is any model, make sure it has a nav. Individual options, as I mentioned, these are going to be your sport wheel and tire options. It's just sporty wheels in 19-inch for rear-wheel drive, and then 19-inch sport wheels for all-wheel drive. Yeah. Cool. All right, that was 2014. Okay, so 2014 and 2015 have pretty similar packages, as well as like how things are optioned. You can see same amount of package. It's 16 and 17 where things change, so we're gonna go over that real quick, and then I promise after we've done that, we'll get to the problems and into the ads. Ton of stuff to go over. This was actually kind of confusing to write because of all the model year changes. It's just like Infiniti, you're really screwing yourself by running your car brand like this, like having all these different trims. You should really have like 3 trims max, in my opinion. 3 trims max, and the trim should just be simply based on the engine, right? That's how trim should be based. Everything else should be packages and then individual options. You don't have a premium trim level when you have the regular trim or a sport. Those should just be packages. Like I'm getting the Q50 2.0T trim with a premium package or a sport package. With Infiniti, they do Q50 2.0 premium trim, and then they add these packages. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if they do it that way to confuse people so they spend extra money. I don't know. I hope not. That would be kind of low. But they really just make it confusing. And then what made it even more confusing, which is why, because I was gonna do originally all the way up to present, because like it's not that many years. They didn't really make that many changes. It's Infiniti after all. They don't really change. But the trim level just got so confusing 2018 plus, because they changed them again to like pure and something else, like a bunch of names. Like they weren't these premium and sport anymore. They had like trim names, and it got super confusing. So I was like, I'm gonna just stop right here, and then we can do all that later. But yeah, anyway, getting back to this, we can see that for the 2016 2017 model years, we have the Q50 2.0T. This is gonna be the base, the 2.0T premium, the 3.0T premium, the Q50 sport. This is gonna have the 3.0T, but it's just the sport model. And then you have the Q50 red sport, and then you have the hybrid premium. So if you're getting a 2.0T, just stay away from the regular ones that don't say premium. You want to make sure if you're getting a 2.0T that just get a premium. If it's not a premium and you're getting a 2.0T, just don't do it. They're really hard to find regardless. Like the 2.0 cars are not very appreciated here in the country. Around the world, you know, where they sold these cars, the 2.0 is much more appreciated because it's a smaller engine. Some countries, they have less taxes for that kind of stuff, or people, you know, gas is expensive in other places. So 2.0 is always going to be a viable option for people outside of America. But in America, don't get a 2.0. It's hard to get, first of all, it's hard to find in general. And then you're going to have a Mercedes engine and Infiniti. It's just going to be hard to service. Obviously, you can take it to a Mercedes dealership and they should work on it, but you're just going to have like, it's going to be a little bit extra work to try to get your Infiniti with the Mercedes-Benz engine serviced. I do not recommend, unless you get a really good deal on a premium specifically. So the packages, for the most part, stay the same. However, they did add some packages. Let's see. So 2016 and 2016, they added the Premium Plus package for the... So it's premium, so they have the premium package, but then they added the Premium Plus. So the Premium Plus is basically the deluxe technology or the deluxe touring package of the previous model year, but they just changed it to Premium Plus. I don't know if they wanted to be more like German sounding. They wanted to sound more like their competition with Premium Plus, Audi specifically, but you can see that Premium Plus package basically has everything that the deluxe touring and deluxe technology package had. We can also see that the Premium Plus package There's a different one for the sport one as opposed to the regular 3.0T. So we can see that the premium has its own plus package. The sport and the red sport have their own as well, as you can see by these dots. And then the premium plus package for the 2.0 is its own package as well. This is how they make it confusing. It should just be one premium plus package. And then you have like a sport package on top of that, not a premium plus package. And they just do this really strangely. They make it as confusing as possible. Not sure why. I don't know if it's a translation issue or something. Not sure. But that's how they do it. It shouldn't be a translation issue. Infiniti is like a US brand. Anyway, so a lot of different packages here, as you can see. It's hard to go over every single little detail because they list them like this with the stupid side-by-side comparison. They don't just say the trim level in like blocks. It's like in this. Anyway, let's look at some colors, shall we? So looking back at the 2014 and 2015 colors, these are going to be the colors that are going to be available for the car. Exterior colors, you know, pretty standard colors. We got a moonlight white, liquid platinum, can't read this, Gain blue, graphite shadow, chestnut bronze, Venetian ruby, I'd probably look dumb as hell right now, Malbec black, black obsidian, and then we have wheat, stone, graphite, Kachu aluminum, and maple wood. So these are going to be your leather colors, and these are going to be your trim colors for on the dash, obviously, and these are going to be your exterior colors. These are the two wheels you can get. I recommend getting the 19-inch wheels. Obviously, you want to get the bigger wheels if you have the option. And then these are going to be some of those accessories we talked about earlier. Rear deck lid spoiler, front grille is also in black. Yep, and then let's move on to the 2016, 2017. Let's see if anything changed. Not really anything changed. There was an additional wheel, this one on the far right. I like these wheels for the 2016 model year. If you're getting a 2016 plus, I recommend getting these wheels. Other than that, everything pretty much is the same as 2014, 2015. Let's look at 2017, see if anything changed. Yeah, you can see the wheel design slightly changed. For 2017, we have this new 19-inch one right here, I believe is different than that one. No, it's the same wheels. No, hold on. Nope, same wheels, different again. Same wheels, different angle. So 2016, 2017, these three options stay the same. And then 2014 and 2015, these, oh, one more clarification. For 2014, there was only two wheel options. For 2015, 16, and 17, there were those three wheel options. But for 2016 or 2015 specifically, you had these raised super light forge alloy wheel summer performance wheel options with some performance tires. So you had these options specifically for 2015 only. And then 2017, obviously, and 2016, 2017 have these wheels. Cool. All right. I know that was a ton of stuff to go over, especially because we're looking at Q50. There's nothing that special here. But I think you should know all this when you're shopping for a car. When you're shopping for any type of car, it doesn't matter if it's an Infiniti or a Lamborghini, you should be as informed as possible so you get the best deal possible. Yep. So that's those are gonna be your options. I recommend that when you're looking for these cars, stay away from the base model, obviously. So Q50 base, Q50 2.0, T, the base model, stay away from those. Get a sport model. If I were to get a car, I get a sport one. Don't get the premium one. There are a ton of other nice daily cars you can get that are going to be more reliable and just have a better interior feel. So yeah, don't go for the premium versions of this because they aren't really that nice. They're not that premium, but the sport ones are reasonably sporty. So I recommend going the sporty direction as opposed to the luxury direction with the Q50. Let's get on to the problems, which, you know, there are not that many problems. It really depends on the engine, but most of the problems you'll see are going to be typical of really any car. Let's see. Yep. Put this right here. Actually, let me open this real quick. Cool. All right. So starting off at the top, brake rotors, they're going to wear and have heat spots. You're going to feel vibrations when you're braking. This happens prematurely, like, I don't know. Under 60,000 miles, you'll have brake rotor failure. Obviously, that's a ton of miles, and brake rotors usually don't last. You know, 60,000 miles is pretty good. But you're going to find that these brakes, especially on the sport model, so the sport rotors specifically, are going to be very prone to heat spots and vibrations. Early on, these are going to be those factory rotors. So just make sure that if you're looking at a sport model, test out the brakes, make sure the vibration isn't too bad, because you probably will need new rotors soon if it is. You also have factory shock failure. You know, it's shocks obviously are meant to fail at some point. They don't last forever. However, it has been seen with these shocks, they've been failing prematurely, specifically for cars with like lowering springs. If you have lowering springs on the car, it's been seen that shocks have been seen to fail within like 10 or 15,000 miles of installing lowering springs, which is pretty insane. Usually you'll get like 20 or 30,000 before you start to have any issues. And the failure will result in, you know, seeing oil or fluid being dripped down the strut. So if you want to check that out, just look through the wheel, look at the shock tower, see if there's any oil on the outside. That's how you can tell if it's failing or not. You have the blend door actuator failure. So this is just going to be your door actuator computer. You want to make sure that, you know, all the systems in your door work, the windows work, the power locks. It's just a failure. Yeah. Turbo failure. This is going to be with the turbo cars. I kind of mentioned it in the bottom where I went over problems specifically by engine, but with the 2.0T and 3.0T, you're gonna have turbo failure. So that's gonna be, you know, not blow by, but leaking like oil seals are gonna, so it's gonna dump oil into the turbo. You're gonna have smoke coming out of the back. You also have issues with like wastegate issues, because the wastegates on this are electronically controlled. They haven't had too many issues with the wastegates on these cars. However, that is something that can, you know, come up because it is electronically controlled. But yeah, turbo failure, just general turbo failure. Especially for I don't know if it's because it's like the quality of Nissan is just lower than, you know, some other cars, but it's been like turbos been not looking too great on these cars. Just something to keep in mind. Serpentine belt failure. It's just, you've seen a lot of cars just shred their belts or the belt falls off. I don't know if that's just the nature of the way it's set up, or I don't know, but that has been a problem. You want to make sure that your belt is in good condition. You really don't want any surprises, because it's going to make your car undrivable. You have injector failure, which is caused by bad fuel rail. So injector problems are always going to be an issue. You're not going to be running right. Either you're probably going to be running too lean, or your injectors could be stuck wide open, running too rich. It could be a whole slew of issues. This is usually caused by a bad fuel rail. The transmission valve body failure. So this is going to be for the Nissan transmissions, not the Mercedes transmissions. But basically the valve body, the solenoids in the transmission, they fail whenever they want. Don't these cars that drive by wire? Yeah, they definitely do. Most cars, actually, I'm pretty sure all cars nowadays have drive by wire. They pretty much erased the drive by the throttle cable, like in the early 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, rear diff bushing. So basically, the rear diff. I'm not sure if this issue has been fixed, but there is a bushing that holds the rear diff into the subframe, and they don't sell the bushing. At least they didn't used to sell the bushing. I don't know if they sell it now, but before you'd have to get a whole new rear subframe if you had any diff clunking, because the rear diff bushing was actually like bad. I don't know. It's really weird where the diff bushing is. It's like, say you're looking straight at the back of the car. You're looking straight back, right? The diff is right here. There's this pipe that's sticking towards you, and it goes through the subframe, which sits behind the diff. So a pipe comes off the diff going right up, and it's like a bushing right here. And so it's like a circular bushing. You're looking right at it from the back. And basically when the diff moves, it is attached to this pole, and it's attached to the bushing, which is attached to the subframe. And you can't change just the bushing. You have to change the entire subframe. And that is the issue. So if you have some diff clunking, it sounds like it could be just the bushing, not an actual internal issue, but that is also very costly unless they released the bushing by itself. I don't know if they did that. Someone's gonna have to clarify that for me. When I was doing my research, that's how it was. You have to change out the whole subframe. Some other small issues: hood and trunk struts go bad. This is not really specific to a Q50. These go bad regardless of the car, so just make sure that they stay up by themselves. And then, as I mentioned, with the blend door actuator failure, also the window regulators, you want to make sure that the windows go up and down smoothly, and with some speed. You don't want to see a slow moving window. It's just going to mean like it's on its way out. And then the silver interior trim peeling, or silver interior trim peeling is an issue. Yeah, it's the trim. not made to the best standard. The paint isn't too good and it starts to flake off. Just something that's very Nissan. I don't know how else to describe it. And then finally, some engine specific issues for the VQs. So this is going to be the 3.7 and a 3.5 hybrid. You have valve cover leaks, VVTi issues, timing chain, oil galley leaks. So if you see some, just want to make sure that there's no leaking fluids on these cars. It's a naturally aspirated engine. You know, obviously not including the hybrid one because that is a little bit more complicated, but the naturally aspirated system aspect is very reliable when compared to the other engines offered and is tried, tested, proven. It's a VQ engine. It's been around since the 350Z. So it's been around. Yeah, I think the 350Z. I don't know. It might have came out before that. Not sure. But 350Z at least. And so it's been proven. Good engine. Seems to be the most reliable out of the bunch. However, obviously it's the oldest technology and it doesn't have as much tuning potential. But you just want to make sure that it's not leaking any coolant, not leaking any oil. You want to make sure that it just runs smoothly. Then you have the VR engine, which is going to be that turbo V6. You're going to have turbo issues, obviously, as I mentioned before. Cooling system issues, simply because with the turbo car, now you have two cooling systems. You have the engine cooling system for the engine coolant, and then you have the turbo cooling system. Specifically with this car, there's two systems. So you're going to have to make sure that all the systems are working. Some other things, the water pump is also an issue with this car. It seems to fail. You know, make sure that the water pump isn't leaking. Another issue with this car that really isn't fixable is the porous block. It's just the way that the block was cast or made is porous, and after a while it can cause like hairline cracks in the block, which can lead to like basically the sign that you have a porous block is that you're missing coolant. Like coolant just evaporates or it starts to mix in with your oil. So you're like, what's going on here? It's because there's hairline cracks where the coolant is, allowing it to seep out into your oil or seep out somewhere else and just disappear. So just make sure that the car isn't losing coolant or mixing coolant and oil. You don't want to see that foamy, frothy thing when you open up the engine oil hole or engine oil flap. I don't know what to call it. When you look in the engine oil, you don't want to see any frothy foaminess. And then finally, for the Mercedes-Benz M274 engine, you have faulty camshaft solenoids, accelerated timing chain wear, turbo failure, carbon buildup. It's really funny because I haven't really seen too many 2.0T Q50s, but it's really funny to see how people think about it. The Infiniti people hate this engine. The Mercedes people love this engine. Infiniti people will say this is the worst engine. Don't ever get this engine. It's really hard to maintain. It's a Mercedes piece of crap, you know? And the Mercedes being like, oh, this is one of the most reliable powertrains that we make. It's so simple. It's so, it just works. And then you have people talking about, I have like 100,000 trouble-free miles with my M274. But then you have the Infiniti people saying that, oh no, like, just get the 3.7. Get the 3.7. Get the 3.7. That's what everyone always says for the Infiniti. Don't get the 274. I'm going to say don't get the 274 for other reasons, simply because I don't think that's like, why would you get the 270? Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. It's hard to find, hard to maintain. It's a 2-liter turbo engine. For this, especially it only being a 2016 plus, it's obviously going to be more expensive than the 3.7 liters. So why spend that money? Cool. All right. Now that we know exactly, well, not exactly, but kind of what we're looking for, simply because there are so many different options, let's take a look at some of the ads and see if we can find any good deals. So moving on, first, we're going to Facebook, and then we're going to go to Auto Trader and then Car Gurus. So starting off on Facebook, our first example, we have a 2014 Q50S hybrid. So this isn't going to be a premium. This is just a regular hybrid. It's in black. It looks pretty nice. It looks pretty clean. How many miles does it have? 95,000 miles. So not a low amount of miles. However, it is very clean for the amount of miles. It is on the 19-inch wheels. You can see the interior, very clean. Doesn't look like it has much wear for the amount of miles, which is pretty good. It has the wood trim, the maple wood trim, along with the black interior. It is a S hybrid. So actually, I'm going to bring up the trim sheet just so I can have a reference, because I don't want to be just talking out my butt here. Yeah, Q50S hybrid. I'm gonna bring this over here actually. So this is a Q50S hybrid, as I mentioned before. This is the top of the line model for the 2014-2015 range. So fully loaded pretty much. It doesn't really, it's hard to tell what packages these cars have without anything listed, but we'll see what it has reading the description. So reading the description, what does it have? It is a hybrid. The options: powerful sport brakes, 360 camera system, automatic braking, collision, adaptive cruise control, heated front seats, Bose premium audio, Bluetooth, sunroof, spoiler, run flat tires, satellite radio, blind spots. So off the bat, we can see that this car has the navigation package, right? Okay, give me 1 second. Because I'm saying it has a navigation package because it has a deluxe technology package, so it has to have the navigation package. Yep, looking at these are deluxe technology package options. And if you didn't remember, for the Q50 hybrid or Q50 premium, for the Q50 premium hybrid and the S hybrid, you could only get the deluxe technology package. You could not get the deluxe touring package. So this has the deluxe technology package, which requires a nav package. It also has a 19-inch wheels. So this car is pretty much fully loaded. If you want to get a hybrid, this would be something to look at. Granted, it is a first model year, so obviously it's not going to be the best example you can find, but it is at a reasonable price. 16 grand for 90,000 miles. You know, it's a little bit high because the mileage is, you know, coming closer to 100 grand, but for 90,000 miles and being a fully loaded Q50S hybrid, I'd be willing to go up to $12,500 for this car. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2015 Q50 Sport. So this is just going to be the Sport example, Q50S 3.7. See what he has to say about it. Let's see what he has to say about it. 2015 QX50 Sports. That is not a QX50, my friend. That is a Q50. Black exterior with the black interior. Navigation, Bluetooth, backup camera, AC. Okay, cool. So it has these standard options for a Q50 Sport. Let's see if it has any cool packages. Does it have nav? It has a nav, or at least an aftermarket screen. Nope, that is nav. So if it has nav, does it have the safety features? That's what we're trying to find out. If it has the deluxe technology package or the technology package. It doesn't have the deluxe because it's not a hybrid. So this would be the blind spot warning, backup collision, all that pre-save stuff. Should be to the left of the wheel. Do they show it? Yeah, we can see that there are no blank buttons. So this definitely has the technology package. Does it have the power tilt and telescoping wheel? Does it show the side of the wheel? Yeah, it's hard to see these options sometimes for these cars. Is it? I cannot tell. I can't tell if it has a deluxe touring package. Does it show the trim at all? I don't think it does, because the deluxe touring package actually comes with the maple wood trim, and it does not have the maple wood trim. It just simply has a silver trim. So we have a black Q50 Sport with the black interior and the regular trim. It is a technology package. I don't know if it's a deluxe touring package though, because I don't see the maple wood trim. So I say we have a technology package, navigation package, 2015 Q50 Sport. So pretty much not fully loaded, but as loaded as you could get for one of these. They want 15 grand. It has 103,700 miles. This is a 2015, so not a 2014 like our last model year. So we're going to add some value for that. However, it has 103,700 miles, so we're going to take away some value for that. For this one, because it is a 2015 with 103,000 miles, I'd be at $12,000. Moving on to our next one, we have a white example. This is going to be a 2016 Q50 2.0T. So the first model year of the 2.0T. Very rare actually to find 2016 version. Usually they came in 2017, but we still can find some. You can see it as a white example. Interior is going to be black with the standard trim. No technology package here, or no deluxe touring package here. This is a 2.0T, so the packages are a little bit different. I'm gonna scroll over. So this is a 2.0T premium. Again, do not get the 2.0T base. It is not worth it. you're not gonna be gaining anything from the sacrifice you're making in terms of price. It's just gonna be a worse experience of car. So this is gonna be a 2.0T premium. I'm just looking over here to see what packages are available with this car. So we can take a look and see what this car has. 2.0T premium. So the only available package for this car was the Premium Plus package 2.0T. It comes with the auto dimming mirrors, power tilt and telescoping wheel, 60/40 split. I'm trying to look and see if there's something definitive I can find that will show up in these pictures to see whether or not it is a Premium Plus package or not. Do they say anything? Nope. So the Premium Plus package for the 2.0T comes with the auto power tilt and telescoping wheel with memory and easy entry, Infiniti touch, navigation, and lane guidance. Does it have nav? Doesn't say, of course. All right. So it doesn't look like it has a power tilt telescoping wheel. So I'm just gonna assume because it doesn't have that, it usually would be something here on the side that it is a Premium Plus or a premium package only, not a Premium Plus. So we have a pretty much base level premium because it doesn't have any of the options that a premium could come with. It doesn't really show beside the wheel either because that's where the safety features would be, right here, which they don't want to show, unfortunately. Yeah, because of that, because it doesn't look like it has the Premium Plus package, so it doesn't look like it has nav at all. I'd say for this car, having 93,000 miles and being a base 2.0T premium, I'd be willing to go. Well, I mean, this is pretty close, honestly. 11 grand is not that bad for one of these simply because it is a 2016 and it has under 100,000 miles. But because they're asking 11 grand and it has 93,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to 9 grand for this car. Then moving on to our next example, we have a black, and moving on to our next example, we have a black 2017 3.0T premium car. So this is going to be all-wheel drive, as you can see, 75,000 miles. Let's read what it says in the description. Fully loaded with Navi and rear view camera, no mechanical issues, runs and drives awesome, keyless entry, comfort access. That's a BMW term. Heated seats with a sunroof. So this car is a 3.0T premium. Does it have the Premium Plus? Let's see. Premium Plus for the 3.0T. Yeah, it's not a sport. This is a premium. So if it has nav, then it has the Premium Plus package. So this is a 3.0T Premium Plus car, which is pretty good. That's about as high as you can get without going up into a Red Sport or a Q50S hybrid premium. I'd say because this is pretty much a fully loaded 3.0T, because this is a 3.0T premium, because this is a fully loaded 3.0T premium and it has 75,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to 12.5 for this car. This is actually a pretty good example. With the 3.0T premium, you also have the option to do some upgrades in terms of aftermarket stuff. Yeah. Because you have the twin turbo V6, you have that tuning potential. But let's move on to our next ad. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, cool. Hey, shout out to the 3 people that are watching right now. Shout out to y'all showing support on a Friday. You could be doing anything. You could be at like happy hour or something, but you're here watching the show. Shout out to y'all. Anyway, moving on to our final Facebook ad. We have a red example. This is going to be a Q60, so a coupe, and on top of that, it is a Red Sport 400. So this is going to be that 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque rocket ship of an Infiniti. I was about to say a Nissan, but you can see this car is really nice. I really like the interior spec. White, white looks good. Obviously it stains. It's not the best for longevity, but it looks cool. It is definitely an eye-catching spec. Red on white is definitely going to be, a resale spec. You can definitely sell this for more than something a little bit more standardly equipped. It's funny because this is like the opposite of what I usually say. Usually it's white on red, but this one's red on white. But I think this one still will do pretty well. Let's see what he has to say. Red Sport, top of the line, fastest Infiniti Q60, clean title, of course. All Florida car, one owner, extremely clean, blah, blah, blah. So performance spark plugs and coils just done. Fluids replenished, car has been babied. Twin turbo V6, aka baby GTR. No, I'm just playing. Maybe a little bit. It is a coupe, so you can kind of make the case that this is a baby GTR. So I don't really want to say he's wrong. However, the engine is just not the same. I guess maybe that's why she said, oh, shout out to her for being, somewhat of a car girl. She said twin turbo V6, aka baby GTR, from Gina. Shout out to Gina. Anyway, 2017, they're asking $31,000. That is a high price. Granted, this only has 31,000 miles. So, you know, it's pretty, it's not pretty, it's a low mile car. 2017, latest model year we're looking at today. I'd say because this is a red sport, you know, it's going to add a ton of value. The red sport obviously is going to hold its value compared to the rest of the lineup. Literally, the rest of the lineup sits here. The red sport sits here. Its own league. The twin turbo V6 with the tune and everything to make it a baby GTR makes this the most desirable model of the entire lineup. I don't know if it's like a subjective opinion or objective fact, but I think it's objective fact that the red sport obviously is the most desirable of the whole lineup, and so it must be priced accordingly. However, with 31,000 miles and being a 2017 Q60 red sport, I'd be around the $24,000 mark. Cool. Moving on to Auto Trader. Let's see our first ad on Auto Trader. We have a 2014 Q50 Premium with the cargo package. This is going to be a premium. Luckily, it's not a base, but it is right up in there, close to base. But it is one step above. It is a white car. We can see the interior is going to be like a beige leather. Ton of exterior pictures. Holy crap. Come on, let's get to there. All right, so we can see just off the bat, you can see the power adjustment for the steering wheel right here on the side column. You can also see interior looks pretty clean, nothing fancy in terms of trim. It does not look like it has any deluxe, or let's see what package it has. I'm not going to take any guesses because I keep flip-flopping back and forth between 16 and 14 and they kind of change. So looking at this one, let's actually read the description. Does it have anything? Oh, this is a hybrid. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's restart here. We have a 2014 Q50 Premium with the cargo package. However, this is a hybrid model. It did not say hybrid up here, but it says hybrid down here. So this is a Q50 hybrid premium. Second to top ranked in terms of spec for the 2014-2015 model years. See what it has to say about it. It has... trying to see what options it has off the bat so we can actually see what option packages it has. It has the dual power seats, upholstered in supple leather while the moon, blah blah blah. Hill start assist tracking. Okay, so it has keyless entry, keyless start. Is that let's see. So does it have nav? I mean, it should have nav. Yeah, I mean, doesn't even say. That's really annoying. That is way too much for me to read right now. Ton of pictures. Holy. You know what? I saw the power tilt and telescoping wheel. That's something. So it has a deluxe package already. Power tilt and telescoping. Yep. Yep, power tilt. Oh, hold up. The deluxe touring package. So this is a hybrid. It has a power tilt and telescoping wheel. This comes with a... Maybe I'm not reading this. Maybe I'm like skipping over too many things. Or maybe they just did not write this correctly. Sorry, I'm having such an issue with this. Obviously, it's a really loaded car. I'm just trying to see exactly what packages. And if you're not... I'm reading this right here if you can't see it. Or well, you can't see it, but that's what I'm doing. Just on the other screen. And I cannot see what package includes the power tilt and telescoping steering wheel for a Q50 hybrid premium. I see the package that includes for the Q50S and premium, but the hybrid one does not have that. I don't know if that's just standard for hybrids. Power, you know what? I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's just move on back to the ad. 16.5, they're asking 92,900 miles, so 93,000 miles. It looks like it pretty much has everything. I don't see any options that are really missing. No blank buttons at all. Yeah, you can see all the buttons to the left of the steering wheel are filled in. We have our power tilt and telescoping steering wheel button. We have nav. Yeah, don't really see anything else. Beige interior with the regular trim. I say for this, having almost 100,000 miles and being in the first model year 2014, let's see. Yeah, I'd be willing to go for this one being a first model year 2014 and having 93,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to $12,000 for this car. Moving on to our next ad, we have a 2015 Q50 Sport with a deluxe touring package. So they let us know off the bat already that is the deluxe touring, which includes nav. So this is pretty much as fully loaded as it comes for a Q50 Sport. No pictures. This is a slap for me, man. I don't know why I picked this ad. Anyway, 11.5 for this. It has 100,000 miles. It is a Q50 Sport 2015 with the deluxe touring package. So it's not a 16 or 17. So it's not the newest ones we're looking at. However, the price is pretty spot on. 11.5 for this, for having 100,000 miles. I'd be at 10 grand. For this one, I'd be at 10 grand. I'll call it a day at that. 10 grand for this would be a pretty good deal. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2016. This is going to be a Q50 Sport. So this is going to be in the newer range of cars. 2016 car, meaning that we have some different packages. It is Q50 Sport. So looking at the Q50 Sport, you can have the Premium Plus package, adaptive steering technology package. So actually, no, technology, yeah, for the technology package as well. So let's see what options it has on the interior. Of course, man. These pictures, they show everything but what I want to see. So you can see it has the power tilt and telescoping wheel. That will be in the Premium Plus. Actually, that should be standard now. This is 2016. Oh no, that is the Premium Plus. So yeah, that is so this is a Premium Plus car, obviously, because it has that. I'm trying to see if it has a technology package, but we might not be able to tell if it has a technology package or not, simply because we can't see these buttons. It does look like it has some options, so it might have the technology package. I see some buttons here, they don't look blank. So I'm trying to see, there's one package that comes with the special interior trim. So actually no, correction, that was just for the 2014 and 2015 model years. They dropped that maple trim requirement for the premium package for these 2016 and 2017. As you can see, this gets pretty confusing. The 2016 model, though, Q50 Sport, pretty much in the middle of the model range. 24 grand. It has 51,000 miles, so 51,800 miles. Not too many miles. It is a 2016, so a later model. They want 24 grand for this. For this specifically, it is pretty loaded in terms of options. It has everything you'd want except for, you know, being a red sport. I'd say for that, I'd be willing to go up to 19.5 for this car. Moving on to our next example on Auto Trader, we have a 2017 last model year. This is going to be a 2.0 T with the moonroof package. So the moonroof package was only an option for the 2.0 T. That was the only option you could get for the 2.0 T base. So what we have here is as high of an equipped base car you can get. It is a great car with 94,000 miles. Let's look on the interior, see what it looks like. As you can see, nothing fancy going on here. We have the basic seats. Looking at these seats, there are different. As you can tell, these are going to be those Premium Plus seats. Yeah, the Premium Plus seats, and these are going to be those cheap seats. So I'm guessing these are the leather appointed package cars, and this is going to be a non-leather appointed package cars. Even though it does have leather, I don't know if this is like a different type of leather, maybe a fake leather, but as you can tell, the seat differences between the base and everything else is horrendous. Don't get a base car. You're really just cheapening the entire experience. Like, even looking at the buttons, like this whole panel is a different color. Like, wow. Control Shift Nolan. Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, even looking at the interior, like center console, like this part is black. This part, oh, it's still black. Never mind. Forget what I just said. Been talking too much. But base car, as you can see, very base. Highly recommend you don't buy one of these. But if you do, do not spend $16,500 on a base car with 94,000 miles. For this being a base car, granted it is the last model year, I'd be willing to go up to $11,000. Cool. Moving on to our next ad on Auto Trader. Our final add on Auto Trader, we have a 2017 Q60 Red Sport 400. This is going to have that twin turbo V6 with 400 horsepower, 350. This is going to have that twin turbo V6 with 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque in this silver color. Let's see what the interior trim looks like. You can see off the bat it has nav. Also, it has a red interior with the silver trim, the silver carbon fiber trim. It has the red interior with, hold on, let me just actually, it's called silver optic fiber. So as you can see, we have the red interior trim with the silver optic fiber. As you can see, we have the red interior leather with the silver optic fiber trim. It's going to be a silver carbon fiber looking. It's going to be, I can't even speak. It's getting to that time. An hour in, that's when I start to feel it every time. So this is a red interior, very nice, with the silver carbon fiber trim. It's called silver optic fiber, but it looks like carbon fiber except silver. I love these seats. The Q60 receives a way better interior than the Q50 in my opinion. These seats look a lot better. They look way more comfortable. I don't know if they are or not. I've never been in a Q60, just been in a Q50, but they look way better. And they obviously are going to charge a higher price for the Q60 than the Q50. Being a 2017 with almost 80,000 miles, they want $27,800 for this car. Let's take a look and see anything else we can find. I mean, you can see it has nav. So off the bat, you know that it has, let's see. Because it has nav off the bat, you know it has the Premium Plus package. And see, let's see if we see anything to the left of the wheel in terms of the safety. So right here we can see some blank buttons. I'm not sure what this is missing, but we can see that it's not fully equipped. What else are we looking for? A technology package. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we could see here that I don't know if it has or not is a technology package. However, that is something that you know, you can easily find out yourself just by looking up the VIN. Something you should always do when buying a car is looking up the VIN to get the exact package breakdown, so you know exactly what you're getting into. But yeah, overall clean car for 80,000 miles. I'd say because this is a Q60 Red Sport and is the last model year that we're looking at, 2017. Granted, it's not the last model year for terms of facelift or pre-facelift. The coupe followed a little bit of a different schedule. I would pay up to $24,000 for this car. Actually, given that this is a 2017 model with almost 80,000 miles and they're asking $27,800 for it, that's not even the right number. Given that this is a 2017 model and it has 79,000 miles, they're asking $27,700 for it. You know, I wouldn't really want to go over $23,000 for this one. Moving on to our next example on Car Gurus. Shout out to the 3 members in the chat putting up with me right now, because this is, as you can tell, I'm getting kind of tired. Bear with me. We have a 2014 Q50 3.7 premium all-wheel drive. So this is not a base model, one step above, plus it's all-wheel drive, so you're getting a little bit more in terms of capabilities. It is a black car with a beige looking interior. As we can see, it also is the premium package because it has a power tilt and telescoping wheel. It does not have the nicer seats, but it is a 2014. No warnings, pretty sweet. We can see, you know, it has the basic seats, has the moonroof, it has the nicer wheels, but overall not the best option package. It has you know, some options. It's 2014 premium. I don't know if it's a base premium. Let's take a look. It had the power tilt and telescoping wheel, so that says a lot right there. Let's just take a look at the packages one more time. Power tilt and telescoping wheel. So yeah, that has the telescoping, that has a deluxe touring package, which requires a leather appointed seating and navigation package. But those seats don't look like the nicer seats. So I'm a little bit confused on that. But for this one being a 2014 first model year premium car, all-wheel drive, but not really having any other options. Let's see about the safety stuff. Do they show it to the left of the wheel? We can see some safety stuff here. So it looks like it does have the technology package as well. I'd be willing to go. This one is so for 126,000 miles, they're asking 12,900 for it. You know, they're not too far off. I mean, they are a little bit. It's high miles, but I'd be willing to go up to $9,500 for this car. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2016 Q50 Red Sport 400 all-wheel drive. So give me 1 second. Let's see, Q16 Red Sport. Okay, anyway, sorry, I was reading something. Go ahead. Reading something, my bad. 2016 Q50 Red Sport. This is in blue. I really like this blue, actually. This is a really nice color on the Q50. It really makes it look nice. If you can see off the bat, we're looking at this grille, which it's missing. The outer edge is missing. Not really sure what's going on here, but that kind of speaks to the rest of the condition of the car, which isn't too good. Looking on the interior, though, it doesn't look too bad. It's that white interior. We can see it has the power tilt and telescoping wheel, so it is pretty much fully optioned. You can also see it has the nav and everything, the surround cameras. Fully optioned Red Sport. It is the first model year of the Red Sport. We can also see it has the nicer seats with the lower leg supports. So fully loaded car. As we can see, it is blue on tan. Not a big fan of the tan, but I am of the blue. 14.9 they're asking. It has 113,000 miles and it's not in the best condition at all, exterior wise. So I'm not sure what's going on with this car in terms of, has there been any accidents? What's the condition of the car? Obviously it's a clean title, that's what I searched for. However, just based on the way it looks, you probably need to get that clarified. I'd say for having this many miles and being Q50 Red Sport, it's a little high. These are more high strung than the rest of the model line, so you really don't want to get a high mile example. But since this is what it is, 113,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to $12,000 for this car. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2016 Q50 2.0T Premium all-wheel drive. So if you were to get a 2.0T, this is the only one you should get, a premium all-wheel drive. Don't get a rear-wheel drive one. If you're going to get a rear-wheel drive, just get a V6 car. If you're going to get a 2.0T, don't get a rear-wheel drive. Get the all-wheel drive. So this is going to be that all-wheel drive premium, as nice as it's going to get for the 2.0. Looking at the seats, these are going to be those simple seats, not the nicer seats that you see on the the nicer examples of the car. It is black. Trying to see whether or not this car is nav or not. It looks like it does. Yep, it has nav. Okay, cool. We can see, start stop button looks a little bit worn, but that is pretty typical on these cars. You'll see any of these chrome areas look kind of dirty. But we have pretty much a fully loaded 2.0T. This is as nice as it's going to get if you get one. 93,000 miles. They're asking $13,000. They're not too far off because this is a 2016. However, it almost has 100,000 miles. For this one, I'd be willing to go up to $10,500. Cool. All right. Moving on to our next one. I like this color a lot. This is a 2017 Q60 Red Sport. Another Q60 Red Sport in a really nice baby blue, almost like a China blue color. Very, very nice color. I don't know why. It looks like a baby blue, like a bird's egg blue. Very rare. You don't really see this color at all. But it is a Q50. But it is a Q60 Red Sport, so it should have pretty much every option. Let's take a look at what the interior spec lit. Let's take a look at the interior spec. We can see that it is black. However, you also see that it has the Q60 seats, which look very nice when compared to the Q50 seats. You can see power tilt and telescoping wheel, obviously, because this car is a Red Sport. It's going to have all the options. Nav, everything. What else? Yeah, we can see nice wheels too. Overall condition of the car is really nice as well. No, you don't see any dents or anything. We also have the interior carbon fiber trim. So this is pretty much as nice as it's going to get. Something I would get. Obviously, the interior isn't as unique as it could be with the black interior. This with a red interior would be a really cool spec. Not sure if it would sell very well, but it would be a really cool spec. Just a really good example. But for this one, having a black interior, but with the dark carbon and having 48,000 miles, that's not too high of mileage when looking at this price. Car Guru says it's a great deal. It is a great deal. 27 grand they're asking for a car with 48,000 miles. I'd be willing to go up to $25,000 for this car. Moving on to our final example, we have a 2017. This is going to be a Q50 3.0T Sport. So not a Red Sport, but it's going to be a twin turbo V6 Sport model. So pretty much 90% of the way there. Let's look at the interior spec. As we can see, it has some of the safety features, missing a blank button right here. It doesn't have the nice seats either, unfortunately, so not very fully loaded, but it is a 3.0T Sport. Yeah, as you can see, this stop start button looks really bad on all the cars. That's what I was mentioning earlier. The silver trim on the inside just wears really badly. It looks horrible. This one has 58,000 miles and they want 17 grand for it. You know, they're not too far off. It is a 2017 last model year and it is a 3.0 Sport. However, it does not have the nice seats. It's not a really cool color in any way. It's gray on black. So it doesn't really have that much going for it besides the fact that it has, you know, the V6 twin turbo engine, but it's not even the highest version of it. I'd say because of that, because of having only 60,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to $15,000 for this 2017 3.0 T Sport. So in conclusion, I'd say that the best model years to get are going to be obviously the 2016 and 2017. You said it's definitely not a sport. Yeah, you're right, actually. You are actually completely right. It doesn't have anything sporty about it. So I think you're actually correct, Clean Whips. Shout out to you for saying that, because I don't think it is a sport. Bumper and wheels. Yeah, you are correct. Even though I don't know why he says it's a sport. Hold up. You know what? We're just gonna look at the sheet. That's a 17. All right, this is a 17 sheet right here. Where'd the 17 sheet go? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so 3.0 T Sport. Spare tire package, a leather appointed seating. Yeah, it definitely was a premium. It does not have the nice leather seats. Yep, you're right. It's definitely a regular 3.0 T, which is a premium, but it really is a base car. You are correct, Clean Whips. Good eye. But yeah, I recommend getting a 2016, 2017, obviously. Those are going to be the nicer models. The 2014 and 15 are going to be your options if you want to get a 3.7 liter car. There are a ton of reasons to get a 3.7 liter car. First of all, it's going to cost way less in terms of overall maintenance and initial cost. A 3.7 liter is a tried, tested, proven engine, and it is really good. I'm not going to say it's not a good engine. Very reliable, makes good power. Probably one of the most reliable things Infiniti makes. If you want to get something reliable and cheap, get a 2014 or 2015. I highly suggest that you find the most fully loaded car possible, because as you can see, the base level of this car is really bad. You don't want to get one with the base seats. You don't want to get one without nav. You don't want to get one without all the the technology package or anything really, the creature comforts. If you're getting one of these cars, if you're getting an Infiniti, why would you get a base model? You might as well just get a Nissan. So if you're getting one of these, make sure to get, don't get a base. And if you're getting a 2.0 T, make sure you get a 2.0 T premium, all-wheel drive. This is going to be the most capable car. You're just going to get the most bang for your buck. Don't get a base 2.0 T. Don't get a base 3.0. Don't get a base 3.7. Just stay away from the base models completely. My favorite, obviously, is going to be the Red Sport. That's the only model. That's the reason why I did the video in the first place, was for the Red Sport. However, I just wanted to include everything. That way I just give the most value possible. But the only reason, in my personal opinion, to look at a Q50 in general is to get a Red Sport. If you're not getting a Red Sport, there are a ton of other cars to get for this price that are way nicer. Get a German car. You're going to have a much more road presence, better street cred. It's going to drive better. You're going to feel better about yourself when you're driving around, when you're looking at the car, when, you're actually going to look around or look back at the car when you leave your car. If you get not a Q50, I would, if I had a Q50 Red Sport, I'd take a look at it. But anything else, I'd be like, I don't really want to drive this car. That's just me, though. I'm kind of a snob for brands, but I do appreciate good technology, and I'll give it to Infiniti for the Q50 Red Sport. That is a good effort. I appreciate effort. A for effort, Infiniti. We can appreciate that. If only they tried harder. But yeah, Q50 Red Sport, I recommend just getting a 2016. It doesn't really matter. First model year, obviously, you're going to have the most problems, but 2016 Q50 Red Sport, I think, is going to be a great deal. You're going to get a lot of luxury amenities. You're going to get a really potent engine with lots of tuning capabilities. Plus, it's going to be a very good price. This is an Infiniti after all, so the whole point of getting a Q50 Red Sport, as opposed to maybe getting an M3 or any Audi RS car, S car, or even an AMG, is simply the price. So if you can find a Q50 Red Sport with a low amount of miles, something like this, 20 or something like this with under 50,000 miles, if you can get for under 23, or if you can get one of these for under 24, under 25 grand, that's going to be a steal all day. So, if you can get a 2017 car with a V6 twin turbo, as well as having a bunch of luxury features for under 25 grand, like you're winning. And so that's the only configuration I can personally recommend of the Q50 because I want you guys to win. Everything else really is a losing spec unless you get, a fire deal. And then the only way you'd win out of that is to sell the car and make some money. You're not really winning while you own the car unless it's the Q50 Red Sport 400. Obviously, some of you guys aren't going to agree with me. That's okay. We're not going to agree on everything. But as I mentioned before, Infiniti is my least favorite luxury Japanese brand. So this is why I think the way I think about it. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll get back to you, answer all your questions. And if you have something more specific you want to ask me personally, join the Discord. You can also follow me on my Instagrams in the description. Yeah, I could go back to you pretty quickly with anything car related you want asked. I will answer. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this one. I am, obviously this was a little bit harder to get through than the other ones because my knowledge on the Infiniti brand and the Infiniti lineup isn't, as much as other brands, which obviously you can see, but I'm learning. As you can see, now I know a lot more than I did before, and hopefully you guys did too. So if you have any corrections to what I said today, leave them down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Some people really take this stuff personally. Shout out to Porsche gang and Honda gang. You guys are literally the most diehard fans of the brand out there. Every video I make on Porsche, every video I make on Honda, I always get some feedback, some criticism from those two groups, which is hilarious. You guys have the most anal people, which is, it makes sense. Honda people, Porsche people and Honda people are obsessive about details. And the reason why is because not much change in the brand. They do a little bit of improvements here and there, and they work on something and make it perfect. They've been working on the 911 for forever, and Porsche people, because of that ethos of the car, how they keep improving on little things, fixing little details, they nitpick over little details in general about everything about their cars because that's what the brand is about. Same thing with Honda. For a little bit of different ways, but the same way in my mind, you have these 4-cylinder engines that you've been developing for 30 years, and they're all, in my mind, the same. I'm sorry, I'm not a Honda guy. Like B series, K series, I don't know. They're all little 4-cylinder engines that sound like bees in a can. Obviously, I'm not the most educated on Honda, and I want to learn more. Maybe I'll come to appreciate that the more I learn. That's what actually happened with Porsche. Obviously, Porsches, they're not the most visually inspiring cars. I'm not looking at a Porsche and be like, wow, what does that guy do? I'm inspired by him because of what he drives. I look at a Porsche and be like, wow, that guy bought that car because he wanted a really well engineered machine. I forget what I was going out with my point. Anyway, yeah, Porsche, very detailed. The GT, I mean, look, I'm not going to say they're not good cars. The GT3, super good car. Probably one of the best cars. The way it makes me feel though, I don't driving is a different story, but you're not obviously driving the car. The driving experience is a majority of what the car is about, right? How you feel on the inside, but also for these types of cars, especially the more expensive a car gets, the less time you're going to be sitting driving one, the more time you're going to be seeing them simply because of the ratio, the probability, right? Unless you own this car, you're going to be looking at the car, right? Okay. I'll put it this way, Clean Whips. Would you spend 275 grand on a 992 GT3, or would you spend 275 grand on a McLaren 720S? Which one is going to make you feel better about the purchase? Some people are going to say the GT3, obviously, but I feel, and I think that my opinion speaks for the majority, most people are going to go for that 720S. It's way more exhilarating. It gives you a much better feeling. It has way better reception to the public. Hey, shout out to Yassine CHN. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's for the money, man. It's for the money. I'm not going to deny a Porsche GT3 is an amazing car. Shout out to Danny, because he's had 2 of them. Shout out to you, Danny. And yeah, I'm talking shit right now, but I would rather get a McLaren 720S over a GT3. in my opinion, simply because I value the way a car looks more than I value. I don't want to say that either, because that's not very true. I don't want to say I value the way a car looks more than the way it drives, because the way it drives is literally one of the most important things. However, a 911, there are base 911s, there are GT3 911s. To maybe 85% of people, they all look the same. For the 15% of people, you can tell the difference. But with a McLaren, everyone knows what a McLaren 720 is. I'd rather have a McLaren 720. He said buy a DeLorean then. Yeah. Maybe I'm just a hater. Maybe I need to own a Porsche. Yeah, obviously, I'm not saying that on a track. I literally just said the GT3 is one of the best cars ever made. But look, let's be honest. How many times do you go to a track? How many times do you go to a track? Are you a race car driver? If you are, then that applies to you. I'm not a race car driver. In fact, I've only been to a track once. So I don't really care about if I can shave off 2 or 3 seconds off a lap time. I'm not a race car driver. So, and you know, McLaren doors, they go up. Porsche doors, they are regular. McLaren has a twin turbo V6 or twin turbo V8, excuse me. A Porsche has a naturally aspirated flat six. Obviously, the naturally aspirated flat six is going to sound really good. I think it probably sounds better than the 720S. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm talking about cars that I cannot afford, so my opinion doesn't actually hold that much weight. But I think that I actually share my opinion with a lot of people. Not the GT3. The GT3 and GT3 RS are naturally aspirated. But yeah, the rest are turbo though. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. On Monday next week, we're gonna be doing some American cars. I did some German cars. I did some Japanese cars. I was gonna include Lexus, like, you know, like the IS. However, I hate to talk bad about my favorite Japanese brand, but the Lexus IS just can't compete performance-wise with these cars. They don't have turbo engines. They do have turbo engines. Sorry, I mean, they don't have turbo V6 engines. They're not making high power unless you get an IS 500, but those are brand new and they just came out. We can go over the ISF, but again, I already did the ISF actually. So yeah. And that was more of a comparison to the M3. I'm kind of doing comparisons to a 340, kind of the middle range. Obviously, the Q60 and Q50 Red Sport are the top of the range, but they kind of compare with the middle of the range cars in terms of power. They make a little bit more power, obviously, than a 340. Than a GSF is good. You know, I should do the GSF. You're right. That is actually a good idea. Shout out to you, Clean Whips. That is a good idea. I'll do the GSF at some point soon. That is what I should do. The GSF is a really great car. And if you look at the prices, they're actually insane. Like, they've been holding their value like crazy. But yeah, I'll do the GSF probably next week. Probably do it next week because I have 3 planned for next week. I'm going to do the Camaro ZL1. We're going to go over Hellcats. And we're also going to go over the Mustang GT 500, the OG one. I'm not the OG one, but the mid 2000s one, not the new Shelby one that came out. But yeah, we're going to be going over all that next week. In addition to, we're doing the GSF as well. So we got 4 planned for next week: GT 500, Hellcat, ZL1, Camaro. And now we're doing the GSF. And then I just got to think of one other car that will fit in for next week. Maybe we'll do a Civic Type R. Maybe. I've been thinking about it. Maybe doing some more Hondas, but you know, I'm probably going to get roasted on that video. So I will see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys got a lot of value out of the cars this week. We're going to be doing some more cars that are kind of in this range next week. As I mentioned, some, you know, performance cars that aren't going to break the bank. So I will see you guys then. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Shout out to the 4 viewers in the chat sticking out through the entire show. This is one of my longer shows, an hour and a half almost, but yeah. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. And as always, have a good one. Be safe. Peace.